Hey, what's up, Gianni? Got a ton of books to show with you. I'm gonna jump right into it. I got about two long boxes, so I'm gonna try and get through one today. First up, Pax Americana number one. This is the J. Lee variant. I believe it was incorrectly credited, but you can tell by the artwork that it's J. Lee, at least in my opinion. This book has been, it, when it first came out, a lot of people were on it because it's kind of this homage cover swipe, and it's never really heated up at that time. I think I might have shown one back when it came out. I paid about 20 for this, I believe. If you look online now, it's really dried up. I don't know if it's simply that people got in the. Oh, I'm sorry. Just getting back to this, it does say Jay Lee right there. I forget who they originally credited this when they released the book through Diamond. They had a different artist on it. But as I was saying, there really aren't a lot of listings. In fact, I think last time I looked, there was only one or two, and there's been some sales of $40 or $50. I tried to find some online retailers that were selling them, and I did find this one. I think I got it for about 20. So it might be one to keep an eye out on. Story-wise, I don't think the Pax Americana or the multiversity storyline really did a whole lot, but this cover is pretty cool. So keep it on your radar if you see it for cheap. Next up, I showed this book before. I had bought it, a CGC of it, the Saya All New Ultimates 3 variant. Really love this cover. Her artwork to me is kind of hit or miss, but this one I think is really nails it. Great imagery. Paid about 20 for that one as well. Old Man Logan, number one, the Mike Deodato variant. This is from the second series of Old Man Logan, I believe, the one that's currently ongoing. Uh, I'm really, I like the new series. I like the previous series that they released last year, as well as the original story. I'm not sure if they're going to do this new Wolverine movie on it or not. It's looking more like a Weapon X backstory, but I still think it's a good long term book to get because they'll bring Wolverine back into the main. Well, I don't know. Even if they kept him Old Man Logan, I wouldn't be mad. Um, and I paid $8 for that. I think it might be a 125 variant. Next up, I got a Punisher. These I got online. Punisher number one. I paid 22 for that one. Really like the prospects of that long term as well. Klaus, which has been optioned for a movie. This is the 1 in 100 jackpot variant, whatever the heck that means. I paid 46 for it online. Uh, who knows if it'll get made or not. You know, it's Grant Morrison's story, so I'd hope it would get made because he's a great writer. Haven't read it. Next up, I got some. These are some books that I found at a little junk mall on my uh, lunch break. I found a couple Alias, 17 and 28. These were a dollar each. 28 being Purple Man. Have you guys read the Alias story? I finally made it through the whole story, and I gotta say, wasn't that impressed. There's probably like four story arcs in it. One of them is just kind of setting up the whole run and her backstory and stuff like that. One of them has a Spider Woman, like the third incarnation of her, that was it was actually a pretty weird story. They may do something with that on a TV show. The Purple Man story is nothing like the TV show, and the Purple Man story in the Alias run is basically there's a little bit of history that they showed on the TV show, but mainly it's after they had already caught him and he breaks out and they recapture him. So it gets into a little bit of that backstory with Jessica Jones, but it really isn't the same that's on the TV show. And then it goes into the end of the story, issue. I don't know where did it end at. Is this the last issue? I can't remember. Uh, but it basically just goes into her and Luke Cage are gonna have a baby. So maybe that's part of where the story goes on TV. But I really don't know what they're gonna do with the TV show for a second season. We'll see. Picked up a couple Marvel Age 102 Liefeld. The Marvel Age books, I don't know. You can have your own opinion on them. I think some of them are okay in terms of like content. You know, this one is just for the cover. I believe it's an original cover. A lot of these have original covers. 99 is Infinity Gauntlet preview, which is pretty cool. And then this one is probably the best Marvel Age book there is. 97, the Darkhawk preview. And you can see it's a 5-page preview. It's not just like a splash page. This is really the first appearance of Darkhawk before Darkhawk #1, and that one's pretty sought after, especially if you can find it in high grade. I only paid $1 for it. Let me check it out real quick. Wow, this is a pretty nice copy. It's definitely near mint, maybe like a 9.4. Here's a little bit of spec information. Weird Wonder Tales 19. I believe it's the Doctor Strange movie, and I can't recall because it's been probably a month now, but there was some online rumors or leaks, more or less, of a bunch of movie news. And one of them was that Dr. Druid would be in the Doctor Strange movie. I believe that's what it is. I don't think, to my knowledge, they haven't said, like, if you've seen the preview, it just kind of looks more like an origin story. I don't know that they've said anything about any villain in it, but they're going to have one at some point, even if it's just at the end to set up another movie. Dr. Druid was what I read would be that person. Now, this is actually a reprint, and he was not called Dr. Druid originally, and they changed it in this book, and I can't remember what his original name was. But I think this one is one to keep an eye on. I paid about $7 for that. I picked up another one that I paid $8. And this one's actually a little lower grade. It's a tough book to find in high grade. #1 because it's black cover. #2, I've had a copy of this before. It was a pretty nice copy, and I sold it. And the reason I had picked it up originally is because it's a reprint also of the first Groot story. So there's actually two kind of cool reprint stories in this book just by chance, and that's going to make it a little bit more hard to find. Also, the guy that I sold it to, he said he had just wanted it for his run of Weird Wonder Tales, and he said these are really tough to find in high grade, so that's why he paid the price that he did that I sold it at. I don't know what I sold it, 20 bucks or something. So good luck finding that. I think they're out there. Just finding a high grade one is going to be tough. Rat Queens, I picked up some of these variants finally. I don't know, these were real hot a while ago, and some legal issues kind of killed that series. I paid $6 each for them. I still like the covers. So, I don't know. Looking back, I might not buy them if I saw them like at a show or something. I got a Walking Dead 100 for $17. It's got like a crease down here. Not a great price. I'm not worried about making my money back on that though. I can't wait for that next season of Walking Dead. News just came out that they filmed like a death scene with all of the characters, so the characters don't even know which person actually gets killed. Alright, I also got this Moon Knight #1 variant, Marco Rudy. I believe it's a 125. It's alright. It was real hot when it first came out. It never really did much for me. I like the last Moon Knight series. I think we're on issue 3 now, so we'll see. Paid about 20 for it, I think. Maybe even less. I actually paid 25 for it with shipping. So, alright, these are some local shop pickups. I got these for $1 each. These Delato Vengeance covers. And #1, as you know, first appearance of Miss America Chavez, who's been showing up a little bit in some news stories. Ultimate Mystery #3. Paid 50 cents for that. It's a J. Scott Campbell cover. I think he did all the issues for the Ultimate Mystery, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Superman American Alien #1. This was in the dollar box. Okay, I guess so. Actually, I think I paid 50 cents for that. Secret Wars, Book 3. Nothing special about it, but it's a Delato, 50 cents. This is a cool book to pick up. Gen 13, number 1 variant. It's the Simon Beasley variant homage cover. They did all those homage covers. Usually I pick these homage up when I see them at a good price. I don't see them too often, but I found a couple for pretty cheap, pretty affordable. Danger Girl, number 4, J. Scott Campbell, 50 cents. Picked up a couple boys, number 2 and number 4. Now I believe number 2 is the first appearance of somebody, but I'm not positive about number 4, and I'm sorry I don't have the info on that. There's kind of a pain looking up non-big. I might be able to look that up because it's Wildstorm. DC might have something on their wiki about that. I did not check, but definitely look into that. TV show coming. Just pick those up for cheap, especially 50 cents. Mr. Miracle, number 4, first big Barda. Nice copy. Nice high-grade copy. I paid $6 for that. It's probably a VF. And picked this up right when the news came out from the same shop. Mighty Avengers, number 69, first Grandmaster. Should know by now that Jeff Goldblum will be playing the Grandmaster in the movie. What movie is that? Guardians? I don't know. I don't even remember. So many movies now. I paid $40 for this. It's a nice copy. It's a really nice copy actually for the age, and I'm not mad about that price. So moving on, we got another local shop, some pickups. Punisher Max, number 31, first appearance of Barracuda, paid $3.25. Black Panther, number 1, second print. I'm real hot on this book. I think it's got its day coming. It's a second print with a unique J. Scott Campbell cover. I can't figure out why it hasn't picked up, honestly. I paid about $3.50 for that. So keep an eye on that one if you can find it for like $2 to $3. I think it's definitely worth picking up. Dollar book, Spawn Batman, Frank Miller, Todd McFarlane, nice high-grade copy. Another dollar book, New Mutants graphic novel. This is like the 5th print, I think, when they changed the cover to this horrible artwork cover. But for $1, that's worth it. And it's also, they made it a little bit smaller, so it's not like the magazine size. Let's see here. Punisher, number 4, first microchip. Paid $1 for that. And I think I'm back to a different shop. I picked up another New Avengers 35, just this great Venom cover, Venom Wolverine cover. Batman 363, I paid $5. First full appearance of Nocturna. Catwoman 56, Hughes cover, $1.50. 73, paid $1.50, and 77, which this one I had on my radar for a little while that I needed to get it. I found plenty of these Catwoman Hughes covers. This one's tough to find because of the white cover, and this one isn't even perfect. It's got some kind of a little bit of soiling, I guess you could say, on the spine. But for $1.50, I couldn't pass it up. Detective 554, first new costume, Black Canary. Paid $5 for it. I don't know why. It's not a good book. There's been some sales of high-grade copies for like 15 or 20, but I just think it's a horrible costume and book, whatever. Infinity Gauntlet number 2, $6. I just needed that for my run. I got a Marvel Premiere 19. I believe that's the first. Who is that? Misty Knight? Is that correct? One of the Daughters of the Dragon? Can't remember which one it is, but this book has gone up in value since I believe she was announced for the Iron Fist show, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, it's a good one to pick up. And Graphic Music number 1. I believe this is like one of the early appearances of Madman by Mike Allred, if I'm not mistaken. It's a real nice copy. I paid $20 for it. I don't see it around too often. It doesn't go for much more than $20 online. This could probably go for a little bit more, but happy to get that. Alright, here's another kind of future spec issue that I don't know if it's going to do anything or not. Strange Tales number 8. First very brief cameo appearance of Mr. Jip, J-I-P. And it's kind of him in the cloak there. It's kind of like an entity, I believe, that I read through. Well, let me put this one up too. 8 and 10 are like the first. I don't think either of them really show him in a full panel, or I don't even know if he's named. But if you look at the Wikia, he's called out as 8 being his first appearance. It's kind of like an entity that Cloak has trapped in like a little box or something, and he releases him and takes him over. I think kind of. I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I think it happens in this issue actually. I don't even know. I don't even know if I looked through that one. But these are 2 stories in here, so the story is only half the issue. Most of this issue revolves around Dagger and uh, Black Cat just kind of palling around. So keep an eye out on those. Might be worth picking up for the TV show. They're going to have some type of villain, and Cloak and Dagger don't really have like a main nemesis as far as I know. Picked up another one of those for $4. I got these online from a seller. A Punisher #1, nice high grade newsstand copy. I paid $30 for that. These I kind of overpaid, I think. Walking Dead. And also picked up a Batman #1 New 52. Paid about $60 for this. I think this book is kind of going downhill right now with the rebirth, but I mean it'll always be a classic book, so I'm not too mad about it. All right, I got a Siege #3, the Gabriel Dell'Otto variant. Picked that up for $3.50. Really nice book. Really nice cover, and I think it's there's been some sales of around like 15 or 20. I know they don't always go for that, but it's a great cover. Here's one I definitely want to keep in the mix. I think that's the second one I've shown, right? How about I paid $24 for that copy. Carnage #6, this awesome Ron Lim variant. I paid $7.50 for that one. I got a New Mutants 25 and 26. Paid about $12 for the 2 of those. Definitely picking those up if I can find them in high grade or for a decent price, because it looks like that Legion show is finally moving forward, or it is moving forward. Preacher 19. Here's one to keep an eye out for. This one's a little bit of a spec here. This is the first time that Saint of Killers is called out by name. Paid $4 for that. I also picked up number 20. Actually, I paid $4.50 for these. 20 is first appearance of Frankie, who again is it's only in a couple books, but might end up showing up next season possibly. Well, next season might even be 2 seasons. Depends how the show goes. And I got a Preacher 65, the second to last issue. Paid about $5 for that. Also picked up a Gotham City Sirens #1. That one's definitely 1 and 13. This series is definitely on my list if I can find them affordably. Paid about $20 for the 2 of them. 20 is about the most I would spend on a #1. But I think with the Margot Robbie news about her staying, about her having like a solo movie, or at least another movie, I could definitely see it being Gotham City Sirens. Alright, what else we got here? I picked up these online as well. Punisher #14, the National Championship in variant. And there's not many of these online. I paid $8.50 for it. I think it's, with the way Punisher is now, I don't know. Who knows what it's going to do, I guess. I felt like that was a decent price to pay for it, though. White cover, nice white near mint cover. Picked this up for $1. The Boys #1 reprint. I think that's a good book to pick up for that price. Um, I also picked up another #2 and another #3, which I had not had yet. So, you know, I think that series does have a lot of potential, obviously. Moving on, Coyote. I think I paid about $4 for this. Coyote #11, first Todd McFarlane published work. This book is starting to heat back up a little bit, or it's starting to at least sell for a decent price. Not many artists' first work sell for that good of a price, or that, yeah, whatever. So I paid about $4 or $5 for this. Uh, in high grade, it's going for about 20. So if you see that, definitely pick it up for around that price. Also picked up some Old Man Logan's. I believe this is from the first Old Man Logan series. I like that series. I've been picking those up cheap, trying to complete the set. Also got a Uncanny 229 for about 250. First appearance of the Reavers, who are going to be in the Wolverine movie. Here's one you may not see very often. Death Clock #3, the variant. This is it's a 3-issue miniseries from, it's by Dark Horse. It's on Dark Horse label. Metapocalypse, a TV show that was on Adult Swim. Kind of a funny, quirky Adult Swim show. This is the comic book. 3 issues. Don't find them very often. I don't know I've ever seen them. I bought that online for about $6, I think. Picked up an Avengers 25 Delato variant for 12 from that same person. So I went to the local BAM, Books A Million, and I was looking for some Rebirth issues, which they did not have any, but they had a sale on a lot of their variants. But their Books A Million's like a Barnes and Noble or a Fried Pie or Second and Charles, whatever. So they had their variants on sale, really cheap. Problem is they're in a poly bag, and usually they're really not taken well care of, and the spine usually ends up bent. But it was a good deal, so I couldn't pass them up. I got the Thor J. Scott Campbell Fried Pie variant, Thor #1 for $2.50. Picked the rest of these. I think were $1 each, which was a pretty great deal. I really like this Daredevil sketch variant. Daredevil #1, nice line work on that one. The sketch is way better than the color, in my opinion. Picked those up for $1 each. Also picked up Silver Surfer #1 and the Gwenpool Holiday Special. So, whatever. For $1 each, can't really go wrong. And what else we got here? Alright, these. Oh, okay, so this was a convention. And I'm going to show them to you in the order I think that I found these books. So this was the first guy who I stopped and went through his stuff. These were $2. Action $4.19. That's a great one. I always pick it up when I see it. Action 600. Nice near mint copy of that. Kind of an iconic cover. And it's a thick 80-page book. Here's a couple high grade, really high grade. Brave and the Bold. 169 was Zatanna, and 191 with Joker. Can't beat those. Real high grade for $2. He also had a Weird Wonder Tales 19. This is probably the highest grade one I have at this point for $2. I got a Batman 7 first Harper Row for $5. Here's kind of a cool one. I think I paid like $4 for this. My Friend Dahmer. It's written and drawn by this guy Durf, who is a artist in the Cleveland area who does comic strips and stuff. And he went to school with Jeffrey Dahmer. And this was published like in the beginning. It says it was published. He's got a little forward. I think it's like 5 years after Dahmer actually was killed in prison. So he kind of tells a story like, if I wanted to capitalize off it, I would have released this a lot sooner. I haven't read it, but it's kind of just a cool book, and small press, independent press. Um, and I can't believe I found these. So these last couple, so he had the $2 books up on the table, and then below it he had like more stuff that was not $2, and kind of the reverse of what you see. But I think he was trying to get rid of his $2 books. So those two were in there. Also these, Preacher #2 and #3. Nice, real high grade copies. And I picked these up actually. This was right before the TV show aired. So I can't believe that he still had them, especially at that price. Because he had a ton of great wall books. Um, Last I checked, #2 went for about 100. #3, like 60, I think. So pretty crazy and great find. That sometimes you find good stuff in the floor boxes. This was the next guy I went to. These were like $1 each. New Avengers Annual #1, as I said earlier. This is the wedding issue between Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I believe. Um, so that may do something with the next series. May have some reference. Punisher War Journal 36. I just thought this was a cool cover. I don't know anything about it. It's a photo cover. It's kind of cheesy, but it's also an all black cover. And this is high grade, no spine stresses, no spine ticks. So figured for $1, why not? Punisher, The End. I think this is like a one shot. Max, The End. Also picked up Bloody Valentine #1. I thought this went for a little bit more, but it's only like a $3 to $5 book. And I got a Static #1, unbagged. Also picked up another Uncanny 229 for $2. 250. I got Punisher Max #1, and this was the first one that I picked up. I had been looking for these for a couple months. This was the first one I got. I was really happy with that price. I also got a Uncanny 221 for $10, and then I got them down to 35 on this Avengers #16. Don't have it. It's not a great copy. It's got a rip down here, some spine stressing, and the biggest thing is that it's faded. It's got some sun fading. So at 35, I thought this book was worth more. With the new team, it's not a bad book. I don't have it, so I can upgrade. So whatever. I found this one just by itself. Couldn't find anything else at this guy's table that I wanted. Didn't have a price on it. I said, "What do you want for this?" No price. He went and looked it up online. I don't know if he looked at eBay or what, but got it for $20. I don't know why he didn't have a price on it. Whatever. Next guy. So here was some $2 books. New Avengers 35. Another Preacher 20. I picked up the full run of Punisher Max Barracuda 1 through 6. $2 each. 31, first appearance of Barracuda. And I also picked this up, Thief of Thieves #1. Now this one's started to pop back up again because Kirkman said in an interview that this is still in play to possibly be adapted for a TV show. So picked that up again, or picked that up. I did not have one. I paid $42 for it. I don't think that's a bad price. I don't think it ever really dipped below like 35, $40. So happy with that. Here's another booth I went to. Didn't find a whole lot. I found Punisher Marvel Knights #1 for $2. I like that Tim Bradstreet cover. I also picked up a Superman Batman Annual #4 for $5. First full Batman Beyond. Another dealer just got this by itself. Lock and Key #1. So this started heating back up again. Did not have a copy of this. And it started heating back up because Joe Hill said he's writing an adaptation of this for TV. So it had already, they filmed like a pilot for it at one point, didn't get picked up. Joe Hill's back saying I'm gonna write it for TV, and there's no TV stations affiliated with it yet, but it's really spiked back up. I didn't even realize it. I always wanted it because it's a great story. I would definitely recommend it just for that. But paid 15 for it, and then last I looked, it was going for $100. So crazy, crazy. Really happy to get that. Uh, Different retail. I got a different booth. A Thor 337 newsstand. Pretty nice high grade copy for $10. I think this was a steal. I do not have one of these. It's my first Forever People #1. Pretty nice copy. It's a little off-white and got some writing on the cover. I don't really care about that. I paid $65 for it. I think it's a $100 book all day. So really happy to get that for that price. And oh, one other thing. Well, I'll pull them up in a minute. Uh, these were $1. Justice League Adventures #13. Probably about 3, 4 years ago, maybe, when Livewire started getting popular for no reason. People were trying to figure out other characters that they could pull from the animated series of DC stuff to, potentially gain in popularity. And this was one of the characters. So this book, I think, when it first started getting real popular, was going for like 40 or $50. I don't know if it even goes for anything now, but this was the first copy I ever found in the wild, so I picked it up for $1. He also had some Spider-Man JFC covers. J. Scott Campbell, 33, 34, and 35. Got those for $1. That's a pretty nice cover. Pretty nice cover. And this was the steal of the show right here. Steal. Absolute. I've shown this book before. Somehow I stumbled across it and figured out that there was some value associated with it. And I found one online. I bought it immediately for like $35. It's not in this nice of shape, and this I got for $1. He had like 10 maybe Archie books, and this was one of them. This is the first appearance of Cheryl Blossom, and it is a crazy expensive book that most people don't know about. This grade here, I probably could get well over $100 for this book, I think. Really nice copy. It's white off-white cover. I mean, couldn't believe that I found that for that price. Here's a couple more I'll show you real quick. This was I got from the guy that had the Preacher books. Foom #15, the Howard Duck cover. And I asked him, I said, this is the one with Miss Marvel or something in it, isn't it? And he's like, I don't know. I said, you mind if I look through it? And he said, yeah, sure. So it cost $20, which is a good bit, I think. And it still has the label, because these were mailed out to people. Still has the shipping label on it. It was never meant to be like a big collector's item. But the significance of this is it's the first time Miss Marvel is shown in a preview, basically. So this actually came out before Miss Marvel #1. So some people, it's one of those things with previews. There's no story. It's just the image of her. So I picked that up for $20. I also picked this up, which I got this Punisher Max hardcover #1. This thing is big. Paid $10 for it. So this thing, the Punisher Max books, as I said, are really starting to gain in popularity. And this is one that a lot of people are looking for, and it's going for about $35, $40. So if you can find it for $10, that's a steal. All right, I'll wrap that up. I still got a ton of other books to go through, but I'll stop it there. Thanks for watching. Keep trolling those dollars.